Hey guys, welcome back. So today Fannie, Freddie, and FHA all sent out a news release that they are extending their eviction and foreclosure moratoriums for an additional 2 months, pushing it out until the end of August 31st to be exact. Now, if you've been paying attention to this is the second time they've extended it. The last time they pushed it out until the end of June. This time they pushed it out an additional 2 months to August 31st. Now, what does that mean for you if you're someone who might be in a position where you could be evicted or they could start the foreclosure proceedings? Well, that's what we're going to dive into today. We're going to take a look at the actual press releases from both FHA as well as Fannie and Freddie, go over them, read the verbiage directly, and what I'll do is I'll link to those in the description below in case you want to grab them. But before we do that, I want to take a minute and introduce myself and say thank you for taking the time to watch. If you're new to my channel, it's all about real estate, helping buyers, helping sellers, helping homeowners navigate the real estate process and make sense of news like this and helping you understand what it means and guiding you through that real estate process. So if that interests you at all and you want to stay up to date on all things real estate, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the content at the end, give me a thumbs up as well. So let's start by diving into the news release that was actually put out by FHFA, which is the Federal Housing Finance Agency that goes over the extension with regards to Fannie and Freddie. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen, and now let's take a look at it. All right, so you can see where it says today, to help borrowers and renters who are at risk of losing their home due to coronavirus national emergency, the FHFA announced that Fannie and Freddie will extend their single-family moratorium on foreclosures and evictions until the end of August. The foreclosure moratorium applies to enterprise-backed single-family mortgages only. It was set to expire on June 30th. Now it goes on to say that they're there to protect borrowers and renters during the pandemic, and that's why they are extending the foreclosure and eviction moratorium. All right, so that was the one from Fannie and Freddie. Now let's take a look at the one from FHA. It reads a lot the same, but let's go over it because they mentioned some things towards the end of it that I think are important, especially if you're someone who could be in a position where you've missed payments but you actually haven't taken advantage of the forbearance options that are out there, because they do take that into account in this press release and actually mention forbearance as an option. Okay, so it says today the Federal Housing Administration announced a 2-month extension of its foreclosure and eviction moratorium through August 31st. The homeowners with FHA insured single-family mortgages. This extension provides additional security and peace of mind to homeowners that they will not lose their homes while they are trying to recover financially. FHA's single-family foreclosure and eviction moratorium extension applies to homeowners with FHA insured title to single-family forward and home equity conversion, which are reverse mortgages, and continues to direct mortgage servicers to halt all new foreclosure actions and suspend all foreclosure actions currently in process, excluding legally vacant or abandoned properties, which means that if it's legally vacant or abandoned, they can still foreclose, but that doesn't apply to most people. It also says cease all evictions of persons from FHA insured single family properties, excluding actions to evict occupants. Now it does go on to say, while the economic recovery is already underway, many Americans still need more time and assistance to regain their financial footing. Our foreclosure and eviction extension means that these families will not have to worry about losing their home as they work to recover from the financial impacts of COVID-19. FHA is committed to working with borrowers, and the second extension of the foreclosure and eviction moratorium is another sign of unprecedented steps HUD is taking to assist those impacted by this terrible pandemic. Now, what I'm talking about, as I mentioned a moment ago, it does say, pursuant to the CARES Act, FHA requires mortgage servicers to offer borrowers with FHA-insured mortgages up to a year of delayed mortgage payment forbearance when the borrower requests it. FHA does not require a lump sum payment at the end of the forbearance period. It also says assess borrowers who receive COVID-19 forbearance for its special COVID-19 national emergency standalone partial claim before the end of the forbearance period. The COVID-19 national emergency standalone partial claim puts all deferred mortgage payment amounts owed in a junior lien, which is only repaid when the borrower sells the home, refinances the mortgage, or the mortgage is otherwise extinguished. Okay, so now you saw the language directly from Fannie, Freddie, FHA that shows that they are wanting to work with homeowners, not have to go through evictions and foreclosures, and actually help people stay in their homes. They actually put the language in there themselves. I'm one that believes that they'll likely extend this again. It will likely keep extending as long as the economy is in the position it's in now, until we get back at an unemployment number that's a little more reasonable. I think they continue to help people with evictions and foreclosures. Now, even if you're one of those people, if you've stopped making your payments during this period and you haven't filed for forbearance, I would reach out to the servicer and see if forbearance is an option for you. FHA mentioned forbearance in that actual press release. Now, originally when the CARES Act came out, they did mention, Fannie and Freddie came out and said, in order for you to take advantage of the forbearance options, you had to be current on your mortgage as of March. Well, FHA threw that as part of the press release, which makes me think that maybe they might be willing to work with you and allow you forbearance, even if you weren't even if you were delinquent at the time that this whole thing went into effect. So if I was someone that had missed payments and hadn't contacted my lender, I would definitely reach out and see if that was an option, because if you can stop that foreclosure and eviction moratorium for the foreseeable future, the longer you can push it out, if you will, the more opportunity you have to get back on your feet and set up some sort of payment plan or work out something with the lender so that it doesn't go through. Now, if you're one of those people that the foreclosure process was started prior to this and it was halted during the COVID pandemic and because of the CARES Act, well, that foreclosure can't restart. They can't continue with those proceedings until at the end of August at this point. And again, like I mentioned, it will likely be pushed out further. And even at that point, it takes months from the time that they file the foreclosure to get the NOD to actually coming and kicking you out of your property. So it's not like, just because, the moratorium is up that they can come and ask you to leave your property. There's still time after that. But what I would tell you is that, communication is definitely the best option for you in this case. So I'd be reaching out to my lender. I'd be reaching out to the owner of the property if I were a tenant, trying to work out something where I could stay in the property for a longer period of time. That way you have some certainty going forward of exactly, what the future holds for you, and you're not, constantly waiting for new updates to come out with the moratoriums to see, where you stand. But again, I will continue to update you on this information as it comes out. But if you have questions for me, want me to address something specifically, do me a favor, comment below. As always, I appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate you watching, appreciate your support, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.